Hey everyone, welcome. It's Jaff here from Medieval Mirage. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so even though today is the 26th of May 2023, I just thought I'd do a quick introduction as I introduce the rest of the tutorial that is coming. Now, in my previous video that's up at the moment on continuing with our journal jewelry techniques, I'll do a quick overview here. Coming to you on the 31st of January 2023. But this part of it here feel. Now this here is going to be in another tutorial. And that tutorial, I've already pre-recorded it. I just haven't had a chance to actually show you, but it's the way that I make my ephemera folders. I'm not even going to give you a sneak peek. You'll just have to wait and see that one. But I was using this as the backdrop for this when I was doing this. So okay, so you would have noticed that I mentioned that I was using as a base this, and that I would be showing you how I make my ephemera folders. It was way back in, I might have to do a voiceover here to let you know, but the tutorial that I'll be showing you will be letting you know when exactly I actually did that video. But here's the voiceover just in case. 6th of August to the 8th of August 2022. I showed you how we get this effect in that video. I'll link that below. But basically I haven't decided how I'm going to decorate this. I might end up using this because, I mean, our ephemera storage places, they are our tools, so they're storage, but wouldn't it be nice to make them beautiful? So I might go for that kind of gypsy medieval look. Or you can go for something botanical. You know, I might put something like that there with a title over it. So that's what I might end up doing with this one. Now, these here are from my... This is a voiceover, so I'm just mentioning that these labels are from my gift giveaway that I did back in 2020 for my YouTube subscribers. So what I'll do is I'll link these below and a couple of other goodies that some of you may already have downloaded, but if you've missed out, you can download them in the link below. So please enjoy those, and you can use them in a similar project or any project you wish to use them in. So that you can, you know, decorate your thingies with. So all I've done here is, I don't know, I've got some of that just to strengthen that, and I've just put it there, and you can make it a little bit, I don't know, askew, sort of like that and like that. If you wanted to, something like this, it could go there and go there, whatever you think. It'll be in the description box below, but yes, check out all the links below once you've watched this video. Now, the good thing about this method, let me just show you first. Using this method, and I've always loved using this method for those of you that don't like sewing. So this is a no-sew journal or notebook, a no-sew ephemera. Yes, I know there's a bit of sewing there for decoration, but that's all it is. When you put it together, no sewing involved if you're worried about that. It's super easy, and you can do it in no time, especially if you enjoy gluing. For those of you that don't like sewing. Okay, so let me then show you. Oh, and some of these are also part of my thank you gift giveaway. Others are from my other kits. So if I can remember, I will try to link what those where those are from below, and you can check out the preview in my Etsy shop. if you're interested. But I've got quotes here and labels and stamps and the alphabet in a gothic sort of ornate look. All right, so this is what it's looking like. That's what I wanted to show you. We'll be making this one. So no sewing, they've been glued. Okay, there's that, but I love that effect actually. I love that. And there it is again. So no sewing, no sewing. This one's a little bit more fancier because we have a flip out. Okay, and we've got lots of places to tuck things in. So I have these available if I haven't finished putting these in and I want different sizes. They're available there. So yeah, you can have your little business cards where your business cards are stored, and you can do any shape, and don't worry if it's crooked. I love that. I think it looks pretty groovy when you do it that way. And in fact, what's really great about this is they hide anyway. They hide your mistakes, so don't worry if you've cut it a bit crookedly, and so forth. So fussy cutting. So these haven't been done. I think I was going to do some with you. Was I? Well, look, if I haven't done one with you, I guess it would be a good time, wouldn't it? I'm sure you've seen other crafters do something similar. But here, let's go with this because I like the small ones to be at the very, very top. The thin ones. I mean, this might be a bit too thin. What else have we got here? I like to have the bigger ones down on the bottom. Okay, so all then you need to do, I won't do it now because I'm sure I'm showing you how I do this in the video tutorial that's coming after this. But you can get glues that are like pen glues, or you can get glues with fine applicator, but make sure you test out your glue because not all glues are created equal. And vellum or tracing paper can be a bit particular as to what you use because it can easily peel off. Now I have found the Eileen's Turbo ones brilliant. Great application because you've got a nice little fine nib. Perfect. They are fantastic. They work amazing. I think I might have another glue, but I can't think of what it is now. And then there's this one here, which is really very sticky, and it's red, but it doesn't go on red. It's just there so that you can see what you're doing. Score tape, but you want to get a very thin one, and you can use that. That will never go anywhere either. So these ones seem to last the distance beautifully. So all you would need to do is you cut out the size you want, whether it's wonky or straight or wide or thin or small, and you can just then glue all around and stick it down and you're ready and good to go. And if you're finding it's becoming a bit tedious, well, why not cut your strips, have them in a pocket here, then you can, whenever you need them, start adding more. So for example, with this one here, I've got more area here if I wanted to. I can do more here if I wanted to. I just wanted to add a bit of interest, but you've got all sorts of sizes and preferably a very, you can have a decorative background as long as it's not over the top, because it will play tricks on your brain when there's too many things competing for your attention. It will play tricks on your brain. All right, so we've got all these sizes, because see this one here, this one's massive, but you can actually put another vellum on there that's smaller. So you can layer your pockets if they're quite big. You can do another one there. I could put another one here. So another one, I could put another one here, another one here, another one here. So you can layer as well. Okay, so there's that one. I do love this one. It's pretty fancy, and I think I will go with this. If you want to know how we do this, I'll have that video linked below. Okay, and then just quickly with this one. All right, so I've got a side pocket here. I've also got a, what have I done here? Oh, there's a pocket here as well. Just a torn pocket where I can put stuff in there. So, and there's another little baby one up there. Okay, so you can do something like that. So, have I done any with a double layers? Probably not. Oh yeah, so see how I've got this? Okay, say for example, have I got anything that's long? What can I use that's long and thin? Say it's this length, and it could be the way that the stickers have been made. You've got quite a few stickers on there, I mean labels on there, and you don't want it to keep falling out. Well, that will just hold it in place, but at the same time you can be putting things in this way if you wanted to. Okay, you could put them in that way. And there's another one here, so you've got another one there, another one there. So that's what I mean by layering. So you can be very imaginative, and see you've got little cuties here, all of these little cuties and so forth. Okay, so that's how I make it. Now you can make these as big as you like. That's what's great. If you wanted to, you can keep on extending and make it as wide as you wish. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's going to be so much fun to use. Personally, I love this size to work with. Originally I had okay, so originally I was using these big boys for my journal ephemera, and I still will, but this one was something that I made myself. This is some of my old artwork as well, but it became really messy and a bit of a nightmare to make because I basically sewed everything down. But it's still something, it's still a work in progress. But yeah, it just became a bit massive to handle that way. Okay, so there was that one. And then I decided to use this because I never really use it much. And this was a much better format, but I'm using cello bags in this instance. So see, I do use these, but they did start cracking. But yeah, having a black background, everything stands out beautifully. It's not everyone's taste, I understand. This is just some of my old artwork. My ballerinas and everything. Oh my goodness, it's going back in time. Oh goodness, maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, some of my older stuff. I must get these and use these. Oh my goodness, there's a whole lot here. But I found with the cello bags, everything slips around a bit, so you need to sort of work around that. But yeah, cello bags are great if you don't have tracing paper. You could do something like this. So this is just a sketchbook. You can, who's it by? I don't know, but it's a visual art diary in black. You can get it in white. You can collage the pages and then do whatever you like on them. But you can get some big pieces. So this is for my big piece stuff that I like to sort of store, but see it at the same time quickly. But personally, this is a size I love to work with. I really do. However, you can still make this size as well. I found it. Okay, so just as a quick example, so sometimes, you know, when I used to do a lot of research, I used to do a lot of photocopying, and instead of throwing out all those copies that I don't need anymore because of the research that I was doing, I thought, why don't I glue them back to back and utilize them? And this was me just playing around as an art journal, but I wanted to just see how well this would work. So basically, I think I'm using papers to hinge it. See how I've hinged those? But you hinge them together. Then I also made sure I didn't do gluing back to back. I just glued around these edges so that there's pockets that I can slip things in. But you could use this method, this, and make it this large so that you can have a larger ephemera folder. If you want to, you can make it as a ledger ephemera folder, like a TN journal style if you wanted to. So there's a lot of versatility with this technique if you don't want to sew your signatures in and you find that bothersome. I can appreciate that. I don't mind personally, but for those of you that don't like sewing or touching a needle or getting near one, then this would be the way to go about it. All right, everyone, so please continue watching the tutorial, which will show you how to put it together. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, please enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome. It's the 6th of August 2022. It's Jaf of Medieval Mirage back again to say hi. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for visiting and taking the time to watch this video. And I'm here to do a project, and I'm just going to get started because there'll be a bit of an introduction to this anyway. But I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate your support, and please join me on this journey. So what I'm making today is how to use up your scraps of paper that you've had for years and done nothing with, and also one side you really like, the other side you don't. How are you going to use them? Well, wouldn't it be great to hide them, still use them, and they're sturdy enough for what I want to do? And that is make some ephemera holders. So this is my approach, and I hope you enjoy it. And it might be similar to yours or maybe not, but this is how I'm going to do it. And let's get started. So these are the 12 by 12, and I'm going to make mine an A4, and when it's folded in half it becomes A5. Now I don't get me wrong, I love the patterns, but for what I want to use them for, they're very distracting. So I'm going to be using the sides that are much more muted and less, I don't know, eye-dazzling. I do love this. It's really pretty, but it's still a bit too full-on, though it might be okay. But you want your ephemera pieces to stand out. You don't want it to be a bit of a clash, because it can affect your color theory, and even how you perceive something can be altered if there's just too much going on, too much pattern traffic, so to speak. Alright, so we're just going to fold them, and I do have my bone folder this time around. So look, you can score down the center if you so wish, but I really can't be bothered. I know it lends me to lots of trouble, but yeah. Now we have all our papers cut and folded. Now let's continue with the rest of the tutorial. It's nice and cohesive, and give it strength is you can just kind of hook it over the page that you're going to be using it for. Like, what I mean is, so in this case, if we didn't have anything, that's what I mean. And that becomes cover. It gets glued down. It gives it strength. You just want to keep these kind of ephemera folders really simple. Okay. Now the other thing though you can do, you could glue this down here, but have this as a flip out. So I think that's what I'll end up doing, because it'll give me more real estate. So I may as well prepare this now with you. I haven't actually done the back, so I might end up doing the back. But what I wanted to show you, which is really important, is that you've kind of got your signatures already done. Now, I did this earlier. Anyway, I actually made a mistake. I didn't want this paper on the inside, even though it's pretty. I wanted this. But because I was chatting and doing my, you know, my tutorial, I totally lost the plot. So this kind of ended up as a bit of a mistake, but it's not bad because I needed to cover up the pattern. I couldn't tear it off or anything. It was too late. But anyway, that can be on my back as a back cover. Anyway, so that's what happened there. So what we're going to do is see how these pages are? Well, we want to have that effect. And that's why we're not going to glue to the edge of the signatures, single page signatures. We are going to create something that will stop an alligator mouth in its tracks. Well, mostly anyway. All right, so I'm going to make another one of these. Okay, so I've got my cardstock here. So all I need to do is basically just measure it out. And oops. And just and so we'll have that as the front. Because I've made mine A4 from the 12 by 12, I have a lot of leftover scraps, and you can use them in so many ways in your ephemera folders. These can be used for your pockets. Let's say with this page here. All right. And then I glue that down. On this page here, you might want to use, well, maybe not that large, but you might want to make a pocket that allows for that, and then you can put your tracing paper or whatever paper you use, your strips, pocket thingies. Yeah, brain's gone. And or you can have it like this. So that's where having this is great, or you could have it on this page, have it here. Oh, that looks nice there. Anyway, so all I did to, let's just fold that down to, oh, bone folder would be good. Okay, so any acrylic paint is fine. I just used J. Burroughs because it was available, and yeah, okay, so what I always do is I always get a little bit on here. It's probably a bit too much. And just get this. It just, you know, I just keep reusing it until it dries on me. It's just a great way if you don't want to have gold on your hands or any color paint. It's just a really easy way to sort of deal with that. And it's just a matter of running it along. You don't have to use black paper like I am. If you are, you can use any paints to do what I'm doing. However, you can use whatever papers you like, as long as it's a firm cardstock. So you can go for florals, patterns, collage papers, as long as it's a cardstock, because these are going to act as your front cover and your back cover. Okay, so just very rough, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I'll just have that open on here. So, yeah, so if you want to be inking up your pages, this is the time to do it. when you're, you know, when they're just signatures. Yeah, right, my brain. I just can't multitask, guys. I just can't. And I don't know, I'm probably talking a lot of gibberish. Is this the one that which one did I just do? Oh, this one. See what I mean? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, so that's for the front. I don't want to forget that. Okay, that's what confused me. All right, that's for that one. You don't have to do this, by the way. I mean, you can just have that, and then you can put whatever images you want on there. You can put lace on the cover, trim. I don't know. I'm just going to keep it really simple for now. I'm happy with that. I really like that cover. Right, let's get back to this. But I think, why not make this a little bit more interesting, intriguing. So this is going to flip out, remember? And we want to do the same at the back. So I'm kind of confusing myself right now. Whoa, kind of went a little bit dizzy. Okay, so if we just get our pages together first. All right. So that one can go at the, oh, but hang on. Oh yeah, no, don't want that one. All right. So the back page is going to be the same. Okay. I don't know what I'll do with the back page. I might leave it like that. Or I might do something else, but it's more to protect everything. But yeah, I'll have another flip out. So if that's the case, that's going to get glued down, and we just want a bit more of this. So oops, wrong way. Okay. I'm just going to do some inking. And excuse the grunginess of this. Oh, you know, I don't really like this. I actually really don't like this page. I didn't plan on having it like this. So I might just use my board to help me. Yeah, I didn't plan on it. Alright, okay, well that's feeling a bit better. I'll just see what the gold will do. Gold always comes to my rescue and always makes me feel really happy. Oh yeah, gold makes everything better. Well, gold paint anyway. I've inked up all my pages, everyone, and so now we're going to do the gluing. And this is really important. Make sure you know how you want your pages to flow. So what your first page is going to be. This is beautiful, but it was just a bit too much for me. And this is really important, everyone. You might want to get a pencil, and you're going to basically create like a 2 mil maybe, or just something like that. You're not going to glue over this line. So what I'm going to do, just to show you, score tape to show you what I mean. So if you're worried that your glue is going to seep over, then just get your score tape and run it around on there, and as a way of reminding you that you don't want to go beyond this line. You're just going to keep working backwards. So how come I didn't do that on that one? Anyway, so see how I've got this? That's my kind of my guide. But that's one way of avoiding any mistakes. And if you do make a mistake, it doesn't matter really, because just that page will just be stuck like a text block. Just keep on going back to what I'm showing you. All right, so this is now where you're going to need glue that you trust, that's going to last the distance. My Yoo-hoo stick, because it will hold it in, well, it does for me anyway. So another thing is to get something that allows for you, so you can open that up. Let's move that out of our way. And you'll want to also go to the edge as well, unless you want to make pockets. Okay, if you want to make pockets, then please make sure you take that into consideration. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel this off. And make sure you've bone folded it down really well. And you can also go over this with a bit of glue, but just only, you're doing it more as just an extra bit of support, but you're not going to go over that line. That's the important thing. You just don't want to go over that line. Alright, so you're going to get your next piece. Just line up the spines, right? That's all you have to do, is line up the spine together and it'll be fine. Just let it stick down. Alright, now if you're worried that your pages are going to get stuck together, then definitely put some wax paper between it, or baking paper. Alright, so now we've got that one. Does make it easier this way, doesn't it? So again, let's just move this along to here. So we're going to go along. So nothing on there, okay? Because this is going to allow for so much space. So you just want to get those edges done. I'll take off the score tape. And actually having the score tape does just give you that, I don't know, you just know it's going to be okay feeling. Okay. Just don't go over that line, everyone. Okay. So now we get our next page. This was the next one. And remember, you've got to make sure you line these up. That's the most important thing. Look. Putting the glue on to the score tape gives it a bit more wriggle room, by the way, as well. Okay, so our next one, I might use a bit of the wider one because I trust this stuff. I really do. I think it's spectacular. It is a little bit thicker, this one, but anyway. Now, just to make sure I don't lose my spot, I'll just... because it won't budge. But yeah. So all you'll need to do is make sure you get that outline and then glue within the square, within the perimeters. So, and you don't have to be precise or perfect. You just need to remember, you just need a little bit of an allowance, a seam allowance. So if for some reason you accidentally do some as a text block, it doesn't matter. Just get back on track with your next page. In fact, if you want to, one page can be text block, one page can be with a seam allowance. It's totally, you know, if you wanted to go that way. All right, so we've done this. This should have glued down nicely. And the other thing is to use wax paper in between. And yeah, or baking paper. All right, so again, I'll do the next one if I can remember as a, what do we call it? As a pocket. So I'm just going to spread some of the glue there because it does give you a bit of wriggle room. Just make sure We have no issues with glue. The paper's getting stuck together. Oh, and then we've got this one here. Okay, we'll do that in just a second. Alright, so this is coming together nicely, and there is that little gap, so that's really good. Okay, so you may end up needing to run your finger along there just to make sure you've got that nice gap, because sometimes the glue will end up spreading a little bit beyond its region, its perimeters, I should say. Alright, so here we go again. So don't feel bad if you don't have any score tape. It's not necessary. As long as you can have a precise glue in your corner, you should be absolutely fine. And it's no tragedy if for some reason, you know, you've gone beyond that line. It's just more a technique that helps in the long run to stop that alligator mouth. And it's just such a different way of having to sew your signatures together. For those of you that don't want to sew, don't like sewing, but just are happy to glue to your heart's content, then this is the way to go. And you don't even have to use this. You could use score tape throughout. You don't have to feel like you have to use glue. If you're a score tape person, go for it. Okay, so once again, all right, and I can commit. Oh, I was supposed to do a pocket. It doesn't matter. Right, so that's what I wanted to say, everyone. I'm not doing pockets with this one. I will with this one. Just remember, if you want a pocket, you're going to have to think about that and maybe draw some pencil lines to remind you that you want to have, what do we call it? That you want to have a pocket. Oh dear. All right, I have to remember a pocket, everyone. I have to remember a pocket. A pocket, a pocket, a pocket, please, a pocket. Do this. Okay, so I'm going to do a side pocket. No gluing in the middle. In fact, if I close this off, it'll remind me that this is going to be a pocket. Hello. And it's not going to be a very deep pocket. Oh, what did I do that for? Oh. All right, and I'm just going to glue along that score tape line. I could have used my precision glue, couldn't I? But this is just PVA glue. It's craft glue as well, but it's a good glue. Very impressed with that glue. Right, okay. So my head's going to get in the way, sorry. Sorry about that you couldn't see what I was doing, but I needed to put my head in the way there because I'm trying to keep a straight line, and you know the drill. That's one of the other things I get nervous about with doing tutorials, is that I've got so much editing to do because I've got my head in the way most of the time. And then I go, oh no, they can't see a thing, and I feel so bad about it. So it's one of those tricky things. Alright, so we've got one there. Alright, so we did our pocket, see? Yay! Did our pocket. And I think with this one, I might do do I do both sides or just one side? That's the question. I'll just do the one side if it will fit. Okay, that's nice. So I'll just have to ink that up when it's all dry. So we're now on the cover. So I'm going to just get my glue. I'm not going to be worried too much because that's going to be pretty hefty and strong. Okay. So this is the cover. And with this one here, I will go to the very edge. Okay, so make sure I'm kind of even, because this is a little bit, this cover is a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's that side. Alright, so that's the inside flap done and the outside done. So I do love that, actually. I really do. Okay, so we've done that. Yeah, so I'm just going to run some black paint and gold on the back. Just to finish this off now. Get the back cover. And that's not the back cover. This is the back cover. Hello. So this is my back, and that's not correct, is it? There we go. So that's going to be a flip out, remember? Need to get it on here. Just for good measure. And there's the back page with that there. I'll flip out. If for some reason you go over the top with the gold, just go over it again with the black if you're going for that color. Let's just have a look at how this is looking. Okay, so because this paper is lightweight, I might end up making it a bit firmer by adding another piece of cardstock onto it, just cutting it out and just reinforcing it. what this is great is it's it just adds more real estate to the pages. But yeah, I think I might have to at least trim the back, because I think that's a bit of an overhang at the back. Might be easier with my scissors. So I'm just going to go in really close, because remember, this is the spine. You can cover the spine up. I don't mind the top one having a little bit of overhang, but the spine was a bit too of an overhang. All right, so here's our book, and that's got that. I'm going to have to cut that out, sorry. Don't want to have that cut. That's it. It's not really centered, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, it is okay. It's not okay. It's not. I'm going to have to make it a bit wider. Anyway, it makes it practical. It does shorten my ability to get into things, but at least it makes it very accessible. All right, so I'm going to be lining this with either some black paper, or if I've got any spare of this, I might line it with that. But yeah, I can just cut these down just to strengthen it. And the same with that one, just to strengthen it, because it's a bit flimsy. So you'll be able to see that this has now got room to expand. So that's what these have been made for. Just run your fingers down there, not too deep, only to the millimeter that you cut it into. Excuse my grubby fingernails, and yeah. But other than that, we've got that flipping out, and this is how it's looking. And right, the overhang is going to get in the way, so I'm going to cut that down, everyone, because when you're opening this up, see how there's that overhang there? We don't want that. So that's just getting in my way. But not by much, just a real bit, a tiny bit really. So all I'm doing is just trimming off the excess. So what I would recommend is really do your best not to have overhang if you're going to do this style. Make sure you've cut that out nicely. I might need to file that down just to not hurt myself or get a paper cut. But yeah, so now you can absolutely put your whatever you want over the top of this, or you do it before you glue the overflaps covers down. Yeah, so this should open up nicely. Should is the operative word. Yeah, that's a bit better. So just keep trimming the cover. Yeah, I totally forgot about the overhang, everyone. Sorry if I've kind of misled you. That's better. So that should give it the ability to open and close, no trouble. Okay, so I might need a bit more glue there, or it might even need more trimming. So remember, make sure there's no overhang when it comes to your covers. And if you are cutting your cover, don't cut the papers, whatever you do. All right. And then it'll just mean I now have to redo the gold on here as well. That's much better. All right, so just remember, really make sure you don't have overhang, okay, and that they are exactly precise as your the layering we did. Make sure that's precise. You don't have to do this cover like this. You can do it however you like. All right, so just before we disappear, I'm just going to do a little bit of this just to show you what you can do. Okay, paper napkin holders are your best friend in these situations. I'll have to release that video. Now obviously this is going to act like glue, so I would recommend you only do a light coating and make sure that once it's painted you go back in and you release. That's because you'll be able to have those splits there. You just got to make sure. So I just think just painting them up just a tiny little bit. Yes, you'll have to go back in with your fingernail or another implement because this will act like glue. And okay, so it's just a matter of dotting it really. Try not to get into the grooves. Okay, so that's kind of covered it up really nicely. I actually really love that effect. But as it's drying, I will go in with my fingernail and a bit of plastic to stop getting paint on my fingers. I'm going to run my finger along each of our grooves that we've created. Okay, just going along, just to make sure that no paint has gone in. The only place I'm not going to do it is where the covers join, the cover on the spine, and I'm going to press that down. Okay, all right everyone, so one thing you can do is if you're finding that the pages are starting to warp a little bit, so that's the look of it. I really like the way that's looking with the spine that way, is if you're feeling that your pages are warping, but all you're going to do next is, if you're worried everything's going to glue together, remember you're going to cover each page with your wax paper so nothing seeps. Put a book down or go around with your clips. Yeah, you might want to just put a clip on here, here and here, but the rest you can go crazy. But yeah, you can flatten it down with a book. I think it's pretty good as it is, in my opinion. The only thing I'm now going to be working on is getting all my stuff in. I'm going to cut this paper down to basically, yeah, I totally forgot that, so I apologize. If I was doing this again, this bit here I would have already glued down something and then gone over it with the gold, and I would have done the same at the back, but I forgot that this paper is light cardstock. But yeah, that's if you want it to be black. You might want it to be another color, but that's how it's looking, and when it's complete, that's the finished results. And then I might spray it with a bit of clear sealer back and front so the paint doesn't come off. So I just wanted to show you how this is turning out. By the way, it's the 8th of August today, and I just wanted to show you. Now, this was me just seeing how my sewing machine would go on stiffer paper. It did work, but I was having issues, so that's the only page that is sewn. And the other parts that are sewn is just the outside. That's really it. But the rest is being glued together for those of you who do not want to sew. Now, I've wanted to just show you something. Now, I don't know if you've ever used these before, but if you get little ones like these, so you can get really small ones like these, if you put it in here and it goes down there, it's absolutely almost impossible to grab it out unless you have some little tool, and you can end up tearing your precious tracing paper. Now, I use 90 GSM tracing paper because that's nice and firm. Anything lighter and you could start tearing, but you do need to be careful. So what I did was I made really thin strips of this. And what I did was I actually used this glue and I did a test. I'll show you. So this is what you have to do with all your glues. And then, of course, name them. Tacky glue. I'm just going to do fine tip glue pen. Alright, so you're just going to write down what you've done. And this has been amazing. Like, obviously, if I really went like that, it would pull off, but just giving it a light tug, it really does stay there. And like, look at that. I mean, that's just almost impossible. So I wanted to let you guys know that I love this glue. Not that I'm sponsored or I'm doing this as promotion or anything like that. I'm not affiliated with Eileen's people. But hi, Eileen's people, you do a great job. So, yeah, Eileen's Turbo Tacky Glue. And it's a glue pen, I guess you'd call it. But what I love about it, at times I have had to go in with a needle, but only once, just to kind of, you know, unblock it. I don't know if this opens up. I'd need my husband. Oh, hang on. I think it does. Oh, there you go. So that's a really good handy thing if for some reason you get a bit of a clogging thing happening. But I haven't had any issues except just once I needed to unclog. And what's fantastic is the pin is plastic and it's already there. When you close the cap, it does its dual purpose. I just think it's brilliant. I love it. I've actually ordered myself some more. I purchased from Crafts Online here in Australia on eBay. I love that shop. Once you purchase a certain number, the shipping is for free. So love that shop immensely. And because it's so precise and fine, I was able to go in there and I felt a little bit more in control than I did even with my very fine, this red sticky stuff. This is super sticky stuff. I felt I could do it a little finer and more in control, because for me, I'm always very clumsy with this. I'm not an elegant score tape user. I don't know what it is with me. So anyway, it just always seems to want to do its own thing and I can't control it, and then I commit and then it's impossible to tear it off. It's crazy. I'm okay with using it for bigger sections, but yeah, it can be a bit tricky. So if you're finding that, I'm loving this glue. I also have been very impressed with the Tombow glue with the tracing paper. And yeah, so, and these guys as well. So this is the real super sticky stuff. So this is really, really thick, wide, I should say. Extra sticky tape, but you can get them in different, you know, sizes. So, I mean, widths. So you can get them in various sizes, but they are super sticky and they do last the distance. But not all score tapes are created equal. So that's why I've done strips that are really narrow, but you will need a very fine tip to get in there with a really good glue. So do your testings with your on paper or cardstock. However, this is another point. When I tried to glue onto, like, say for example, on this page here, I haven't finished it yet, but on this page here, and these I'm going to glue, I'll show you in a minute. See how I've actually layered tracing paper on tracing paper? Well, this can actually be a challenge for even these glues. I found that that didn't work. And this is where your score tape will come in really, really handy. And that's what I did. I just used the score tape. Maybe I can do it now. See how I mean, it's really a wonky one, but that's okay because it's a graduated one. Okay, so I can fit 2 of those sizes, and I might do 2 more smaller sizes. I just thought I'd vary it. How about we put it here? So let me show you what I mean. All right, so I'm just going to do this, but you can do the same with your score tape if that's what you're using. So I might do it that way. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just and it's very good glue. It's very super strong. So if you're looking for really good glue, yeah, I'm really happy with this glue, especially for tracing paper. Yeah, very good for general purpose. All right, so when you commit, you're going to stretch it out really firmly because you want it to be a firm hold so that they don't go flying everywhere. That's what you want to avoid. And then just get your finger in there, just spread it along so that you minimize I mean, it dries clear, which is lovely, but you minimize the look of it as much as possible. And that's why it's great having pattern paper. It sort of distracts, but it's not about looks, remember? It's about it's about the presentation so that you can see what you've got. It's a display really, and you can access what you've done. And you do exactly the same, and see, it's a really nice firm fit. Things aren't going to go flying. And yeah, you do exactly the same with the tape. So basically, I'll put the sides down first and go like that, pull it, and then the underneath it. So that's just a tip. Another thing you can do for those days when you go, oh, I've had enough of my I've had enough of the what do we call it? Yeah, so if you can't be bothered doing any more fussy cutting, then if you do have some larger pockets or larger pieces, just get your little cello bags, you know, throw them in there, or this could be even larger, and then just tuck it in there, and you know, with that poking out, you've got something there to cut for later. Or you can just put them
create bigger pockets for those days. You could have the bigger pockets at the back for those days when you go, nah, that's it, I'm over fussy cutting, and where can I stack these without losing my place? And remember, I also showed you that you have this real estate here, so you could make a little file folder that's easy to pull out, but you could have your bigger pieces. So what I mean by that is you could just have it so that there's one pocket, it closes, you stick it through here, and then you can pull it out whenever you need to do more fussy cutting. And then of course you've got a top loading pocket for anything that's too long, or whatever works for you. So this is from an embossing folder. I have got no idea what it's called, but anyway, I love it. And I'm going to be gluing it to some cardstock, which I've kind of painted. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that's been helpful. Please take care of your lovely selves, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.